East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches, super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NicoleMitchell.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. It is Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. Boy, do we have a lot to get to today. Caroline the Liar Levitt, you're not going to believe the excuse she made for why Donald Trump's hand has been bandaged up and bruised for months. It might be the most incredible, laughable lie yet. I don't know whether to laugh or cry about it, but it is pretty ridiculous. We're going to get to that. Kristi Noem not only lied under oath today, easily proven, and we will prove it on the show, but she was made to look like the imbecile that she is. It was actually emotional. I actually got emotional watching the testimony today, not because of anything that Kristi Noem said, but the great job that Democrats did in D.C. today in making the case about how horrible it is, what they're doing to some of these people that happen to be undocumented, some of whom served. But before I get to all that stuff, as you know, I had a debate with Andrew Wilson, regrettably, not because I lost the debate or anything. It just the guy is just a complete moron. He doesn't know how to actually have a real debate on the issues. Instead, he wants to talk about philosophy, and he wants to talk about where he gets his ethics from. I mean, it's like impossible to even have a real conversation with him. But I wanted to play you this clip because Andrew Wilson, who I do believe is a fake Christian, and I can give a lot of reasons for that, we'll talk about it. He had a debate a few weeks ago, and this clip actually went viral. She's known as Charlie, and she's debating him on ethics, and she makes a very valid point that if you call yourself a Christian man and you're living by this, this, and this, then why would you marry a woman that has 3 baby daddies? I think that's a very fair question to ask. And I want you to listen to the way the really good, wholesome Christian responded to her. It's absolutely despicable. Have a listen to this.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a dyke. Don't talk about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say? Dyke?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to
Do the women that you tried
show
to?
your hatred against?
Do you the women
they,
that
like,
you tried
convince them
to?
that they shouldn't?
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family?
called me stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people
Okay.
on are because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
Traditional man. He's actually a fake Christian douchebag, chain smoking moron. Anyway, that woman who was attacked for her sexuality, which is absolutely repugnant and despicable, in that video that went viral, joins us right now, known as Charlie on social media. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to ask you, when you hear that clip over again, because it's got millions and millions of views and it went viral, what goes through your mind when you hear that over and over again?
I think that just shock that a grown adult man could conduct himself that way. I don't think I don't think anyone has ever spoken to me in that way since high school.
It's horrible. And when I questioned him on that, he said that, well, you got personal with him. And not that you need anybody to defend you, but your question, I think, was very valid because you're talking about a man with traditional Christian values and you decided to marry a woman who has 3 baby daddies, and then he took offense to it, right?
Well, yeah, and our debate was on if feminism is good for society. And before he rudely interrupted me, my point was going to be that, to marry a previously married woman and a woman with children with multiple men who has, applied for child support in the past, was able to just the gains of feminism she benefited from. And thus so did Wilson. That was my point, is that how can he hate feminism so much when his wife and him have, profited so much off of it? It allowed them to be married.
Absolutely. And I want to be clear. I don't think you said anything wrong. I don't think you did anything wrong. It was a valid question. Let's just hypothetically for a second think that, okay, you went personal on him. It was a personal attack, which, by the way, I don't think you did. Even if you did do that, why would he attack you because of your sexuality? It's like, first of all, it's disgusting. It's like a second-rate insult. This is the same idiot, and yes, I'm going to call Andrew Wilson an idiot, who sells debate courses for $250. And his idea of debating someone when he gets upset is to demean someone because of their sexuality. Wow, how Christian of him to do that, right?
Right, exactly. And what does my sexuality have to do with the debate?
Nothing
at all. Meanwhile, his wife, by the way, who is a political commentator, had been peppering the chat, the YouTube super chats with insults directed towards me the entire time before I ever brought her up, which you can see on the screen. Like, her insults were coming up on the screen, big and right there for me to read the entire time. And I'm not supposed to, I guess I'm supposed to leave her alone as if she's like some sheltered housewife who doesn't own a computer.
What a shocker that she decided to marry this guy. By the way, she seems to be very successful in marriages. And very successful with men. How many fathers now does she have? Have they had a kid together? I don't even know. Not that I really care, but
I'm not sure. I think they have 2 kids together, which is just deeply unfortunate for those children.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a worse fate than having Andrew Wilson as a father. Like, imagine like having to tell people at school that your dad is like, his job is just like belittling people on the internet.
Yeah. And I want to explain, and Charlie, I don't need to explain this to you, but I guess for argument's sake, I will. So he doesn't even directly necessarily talk to me. He has on DM on social media, but he has this guy named Jake Rattlesnake. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Just another clown. And like Andrew wanted me to apologize to him because apparently he thought I did a hit piece on him. This is what a baby this guy is. After he insults you for your sexuality, calls you names, I'm told by Andrew, quote, if you want a round two, then you have to acknowledge that I tried to make peace. By the way, he didn't try to make peace. And the very first thing you do is make hit pieces on me. You need to apologize for that. First of all, I'm not apologizing to him. Second of all, I called him a moron. I've called him some names. He's done the same thing to me. So it's like the worst thing in society, one of the worst things about character traits is when people can dish it out, but they can't take it, right? You calls you a dyke. I hate to even repeat that because it's so ridiculous and disgusting. The sniz comment, which by the way, I've never even heard that before. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never
heard it before either.
I've never heard anybody tell somebody to lick sniz. I've heard them say other things in regards to that, but I've never heard that before. This is the first time. I don't know where he got that from. So, you know, I told him that he should probably do that to his wife sometime. It might make their marriage better. But the incredible thing about some of these people, I think you'll agree with me. A lot of these people on the far right that call themselves these evangelical Christians. Listen, Charlie, I think they hide behind their religion for their, bigotry. They attack gay people. They attack minorities, so on and so forth. They think gay marriage should be illegal. And the abortion issue, which really that's all Andrew wanted to talk about with me. I think they use their religion to hide their bigotry, racism, and misogynist behavior.
Absolutely, because I know so many Christians who, regardless of how they feel personally, they are always cordial and kind and, seem to take to heart Jesus's teachings to, love thy neighbor, to, not throw stones if you yourself are not free of sin. That is, to me, Andrew Wilson does not seem to be much of a Christian in that capacity. He uses
I don't think he's much of a human being. I don't think he's much of a human being, let alone Christian. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. When you make misogynist comments about people and attack people because of their sexuality, he's a very insecure man. And that's another thing, too. When I was debating him, and it wasn't much of a debate, he said that he, quote, destroyed you. That's what all these idiots do. Like they say to themselves, oh, I destroyed her. I beat her in a debate. I destroyed her. First of all, he didn't, number one. And number two, what are you like? It reminds me of like a 10-year-old coming home from school and you had some sort of debate with your teacher or with another classmate. And then you go home and you say, Mommy, Daddy, I beat somebody in a debate. That would be fine if you're 10 years old. Andrew Wilson isn't a grown man. Why does he have to always prove to everybody that he's the master debater? I would call him the masturbator. We'll ask his wife about that. But in all seriousness, like, why do these people always have to? I won the debate. I destroyed you. I beat you. I dog walked you. How insecure are you as a human being? Let other people decide that, jackass. That's my opinion.
Right. Well, I mean, when we consider his audience, I think he might have to declare victory just so that they get it. They might not otherwise, but no, that's the most frustrating thing in the world is because with his dumb debate courses, I've debated people who took it. It is literally just learning how to deflect, avoid answering questions, never make like a clear stance, and to insult. And then you always have to declare victory at the end. That's the cherry on top. But unfortunately, most people can't talk as fast or as nasally as Andrew Wilson, so it's not as effective.
Yeah, and he's wanted to have a second debate with me because we didn't really have much of a debate the first go around. It was supposed to be about Donald Trump's ethics, not where Andrew Wilson gets his ethics from, and it certainly wasn't supposed to divulge into abortion. For example, I understand Andrew calls himself pro-life. I think he's the opposite of that, but just for argument's sake, okay, he's anti-abortion. Every single time I would bring up something Donald Trump does or says or a policy, his retort to that would be, it's not as bad as 600,000 babies being murdered, talking about abortion. That's not a debate. And it's like, that's not how you have a conversation with somebody. And I'm almost at a loss for words with this guy, but I do want to share some breaking news while you're here, Charlie, if that's okay. So he has canceled the Un-F America Tour debate he was supposed to be having with Myron Gaines, Destiny, and Adam Mockler. I learned from several really good sources, because I thought that was really strange, because I think Andrew wants attention, right? He craves attention. It's why he's a chain smoker on Piers Morgan. Well, I learned through several sources that they have told me that the people at Turning Point don't want him at AmFest. They don't want him there. I've heard from some very good sources they don't want to give him a credential, and they don't want him there. So what I think happened, and I'm giving an educated opinion allegedly, is that he knew that he wouldn't be accepted at AmFest, so he didn't want to go there just for the Un-F America Tour debate. So that's why he canceled, because he's a fraud. That's why. That's my take on it. I don't know what your take.
How embarrassing that TPUSA didn't even want him, because I feel like that's what matters a lot to Andrew and Rachel Wilson, is being attached to famous people, sucking up to famous people. They do it a lot with Steven Crowder and Nick Fuentes, oddly enough. And that must have crushed him, because that's what they care about.
I agree. Is he close with Fuentes? I didn't know that.
I don't think that they're close with Fuentes, but it's my understanding that Rachel and Andrew have been trying to court Nick Fuentes' audience, the Groypers. Rachel Wilson on her X page was bragging about how her freshly 18-year-old daughter would be a Groyper's wet dream, because she's freshly 18. She has 0 bodies, making her sound like an amateur killer. Geez. And she's a Christian. And what happened allegedly is that they hooked her up with some 27-year-old Groyper in New York. Like, that's how far they're willing to go, apparently, is to, kind of raffle off their daughter to the highest bidder.
That's
whoever
pretty.
Gets them the most clout.
If that's true, that's pretty disgusting. And here's something else in my debate. So I had talked about certain aspects of Andrew's life per se, but I didn't really go into detail. But what I did do is I quoted what he called you. I didn't misquote him, the sniz comment and the other comment about your sexuality. I didn't misquote him. I didn't take it out of context. You upset him because he's a very insecure little chain smoking man. You upset him. And I just quoted what he said. And then he responds by saying, well, you told your ex-girlfriend to kill herself. First of all, that's entirely not true. And that's completely false. Yeah. Like, I don't even know where he got that from. Completely made up. And there's nothing funny about suicide. And I said that to him. We can joke around a little bit about his stupid comment about sniz, right? It was pretty despicable what he said, but it's like 10-year-old humor. There's nothing funny about making something up about telling somebody to kill themselves. I take that very seriously. I just think he's it's awful. He's very mentally disturbed, and I will not be apologizing to him. He can continue to chain smoke all he'd like, but what would you want to say to him now? I know you probably never will be debating him again, and rightfully so. I don't think he deserves to debate you again. But if you had the opportunity to speak with him privately, what would you say to him?
I would say that I think that he needs to go to AA. During our debate, he was drinking heavily the entire time and was upset that Brian, the host of the Whatever podcast, didn't have hard enough liquor for him. And he kept having to run off to the balcony to smoke. And I've seen him, every time he's on a show, he's chain smoking, like you said, and he's drinking heavily. And if someone cannot function without a substance, which it appears that he has, developed a physical addiction to alcohol and cigarettes, how you can't do that to yourself. Like, at some point you have to realize that the way that you're living your life is going to kill you eventually. So I would encourage him to go to AA for his own health, but also because, to be honest, I feel like the vitriol that I was met with on his part, a part of me is very curious if that was, a result of him not being able to get his fix. I'm
Yeah.
sure many people
Maybe.
have experiences with addicts who can't get whatever they're fiending after, and then they lash out, and it's a horrible thing how bad that can get. I've seen many of my own family members struggle with addiction, and it can be life ruining. And so I would say to him, you need to go to AA.
I think
Because you're
that's
not well.
I think that's very nice of you to say. If that is true, I would certainly would want him to get the help that he needs. I think it's fair to say he certainly has a huge addiction to nicotine. He can't get through an interview or debate on national TV, by the way, millions of people watching Piers Morgan. He did it when I was on with him, that he has to chain smoke. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like somebody who would be addicted to food so badly that you'd have to eat a sandwich in the middle of being on with Piers Morgan. First of all, it's extremely unprofessional. Let's just call it for what it is. I don't care how much you love your cigarettes. The fact that you can't hold off during on the Piers Morgan show and you have to chain smoke says a lot about you. He needs help. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm not saying that Andrew is like a murderer or a breaking the law. I don't like the words he used towards you, and I don't think he comes from a very good place, but maybe he's having maybe he needs to talk to somebody, and maybe you're right. Maybe he does have some serious addiction issues, and I really do hope he gets help. I don't wish the man ill will. I don't wish his wife ill will. I hope he gets the help he needs, but that is not an excuse, as you know, for the way he talked to you, attacking somebody because of their sexuality. And his excuse would be, well, she got personal with me first. Even if that was the case, why would you stoop to that level of attacking somebody because they're gay? I just think that speaks volumes of his character, regardless of whether he's addicted to smoking or addicted to alcohol.
No, I agree completely. And while I don't wish him ill, as much as I think he needs to go to AA, I think that because he has been responsible, I think, for spreading so much misery online. I think that the clip in my interaction with him went so viral, not because I'm super cool and badass, or sorry, I didn't mean to say.
That's okay. You're good, you're good.
But because I think people really despise him. I think that he's made a lot of women feel awful about themselves. I think he's, preyed upon the minds of young men, made them more misogynistic. And I do hope that he reaps what he has sowed, which is I hope that he, him and his wife fall into obscurity. I hope that this is the biggest they ever get, and I hope no one remembers them. But he should also go to AA because he has kids. And as much as I think he and his wife are horrible, awful people, I don't want their kids to suffer for it,
Of course. Yeah, of course. I will say this in jest. I do believe Andrew will get bigger, but I'm talking about the size in this area right here. I do think he will get bigger because nothing is more manly than a man that is like 5'8" and has the beer gut and smokes cigarettes and is a chain smoker. Nothing more manly than that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, how vulgar can I get here? Let me get just a
PG-13.
PG-13?
Yep.
I'll just hint at it then. It's a shame that he, based on his comments, you would assume that he doesn't, lick any sniz himself, which is a shame because a man of his habits, heavy drinker, heavy smoker, and very, overweight, unhealthy. I mean, I'd imagine that's the only thing he can do in the bedroom. That might be the only thing he could offer to her.
That might
I'm just saying.
I think that is a very, very good hypothesis. And I would tend to agree with you. If he's not functioning down there, or he's a mushroom, well, we know he's a Trump mushroom gobbler, but he might be a mushroom man himself. And if that were true, allegedly, if that were true, and he's not able to please a woman, you would think that is something. I think that's very reasonable, your hypothesis. And I don't know, maybe we can debate Andrew on this. I don't know, maybe one day we can talk to him about this. But I think that's a very reasonable hypothesis that you brought up there, Charlie. Okay, in seriousness, I'm sorry that he treated you that way. You sound like, I spoke to you for the first time yesterday. You sound like a very nice lady. You're intelligent. You're a good debater. And quite frankly, you're too good for him. Okay. If debate people that want to have reasonable discussions with you. Unfortunately, the Andrew Wilson, Myron Gaines types of people are not serious people. They say things for clicks. But at least Myron, I'll give him credit for this. At least he doesn't claim he's this wonderful debater and he charges people to debate. The fact that this guy charges you couldn't pay me $250 to sit there and listen to this guy for another hour, let alone a debate. It's just insane. But Charlie, I really do appreciate you coming on. Keep up the great work, and we'll let Andrew know the advice that you're giving him, because I think it's very sound advice. So I will clip this. And I will tag him, because I know he's obsessed with me, and he does rage videos about me, and he breaks down my show because he can't come up with content of his own while he smokes his cigarettes. But I will clip this, and I think it's great advice that you gave him, at least in the sexual front of it. And I hope that literally and figuratively, the sexual front of it. And I hope he takes your advice, because maybe it sounds like his wife's a very unhappy person too. Maybe that's one of the reasons why. I don't know, but
you'd imagine so. With the way they act online, all they do is fight with people on Twitter. They have to be miserable.
Well, for the record, I will say this in his defense here. I will say this. I do fight with people on Twitter too, but deep down inside, I'm laughing while I'm typing, because I actually enjoy it. And I do lick sniz. I'm a proud member. Okay. So I will no problem saying that on a syndicated radio show. I do that. And I enjoy making somebody else happy. There's a lot of MAGA Trump supporters that seem like they perform verbal fellatio on Donald Trump on a regular basis. But anyway, Charlie,
very true.
What's that? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you before you go, as my producer reminded me. I want people to follow you. There's a lot of people on social media that want to know, where could I follow Charlie? Where is she? So can you do me a favor before we go, Charlie? Give out that information, how people can follow you. Where can they go?
Yeah, thank you so much. I on every platform, I'm Enemy Charlie. Enemy, like not your friend Charlie. And I stream on Twitch. I post on Instagram, and I'm on X, and a bunch of other platforms, but those are like my three main ones. But thank you for having me on, Brian.
Of course. I'd love to have you on again down the road, and hopefully we could talk about something else other than that fat blob. Anyway, thank you, Charlie, for being here. I appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again, okay?
Yeah, thank you for having me on. This was lovely.
You bet. Thank you very much. That's Charlie, everybody. I'm sorry for the way Andrew treated her. I don't think Andrew is a very good person. I think he's a fake Christian. I've been very clear on that. Do we have to go to break? Because I'd like to go right into the clips if that's possible. I'll give him a few minutes to get that. But I saw something today that got me very emotional. As you know, there's a lot of brave men and women that have served this country, some of whom have been deported. Kristi Noem is at the forefront of this, and she testified in D.C. earlier today. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud of the Democrats today, because I think many of them, including Ramirez, Magaziner, and Goldman and others, did a phenomenal job, and it was emotional, and you could tell it was from the heart. So here is an example of Kristi Noem literally lying under oath. The Magaziner asked her a very specific question, if any U.S. military veterans have ever been deported. This is literally Kristi Noem lying under oath. Now, what I want to do is I want to play the whole clip for you, because this is a clip that got me very emotional, because then stories are told of those who took bullets serving this country, some of whom have been deported. This is unbelievable audio. Like I said, it got me choked up when I heard this. Have a listen to this.
Madam Secretary, how many United States military veterans have you deported?
Sir, we have not deported U.S. citizens or military veterans.
I don't believe you served in the military. I haven't either, but I think you and I can agree that as Americans, we owe everything to those who have served our country in uniform, particularly those who have served in combat. Do you agree with that?
Sir, I believe that people that are in this United States that are citizens have legal status here. Those
Madam Secretary, we are joined on Zoom by a gentleman named Sejun Park. He is a United States Army combat veteran who was shot twice while serving our country in Panama in 1989. Like many veterans, he struggled with PTSD and substance abuse after his service. He was arrested in the 1990s for some minor drug offenses, nothing serious. He never hurt anyone besides himself, and he's been clean and sober for 14 years. He is a combat veteran, a Purple Heart recipient. He has sacrificed more for this country than most people ever have. Earlier this year, you deported him to Korea, a country he hasn't lived in since he was 7 years old. Will you join me in thanking Mr. Park for his service to our country?
Sir, I'm grateful for every single person that has served our country and follows our laws.
Can you please tell
And those
Mr.
that our
Park
laws
why
are
you
important,
deported him?
Every one of them needs to be enforced.
But you understand that many veterans struggle with PTSD, many veterans struggle with substance abuse challenges. This man took 2 bullets for our country. You have broad authority, by the way, as Secretary, to issue humanitarian parole, to do deferred action. Will you commit to at least looking at Mr. Park's case to see if you can help him find a pathway back to this country that he sacrificed so much for?
I will absolutely look at his case, but I want you
Thank
to
you.
remember that
Madam
our
Secretary, the
programs
man
need to have
behind you,
integrity as
please
well.
stand up, sir. His name is Jim Brown from Troy, Missouri. He is a Navy combat veteran who served our country in the Gulf War. He's married to a woman named Donna, who came to our country legally from Ireland when she was 11 years old. She has lived here for 48 years. Because of you, Jim's wife Donna has been in prison for the last 4 months. She did not come here illegally, and she has never committed any crime other than writing 2 bad checks totaling $80 10 years ago. She is currently in prison and facing deportation. Ms. Noem, will you thank Mr. Brown for his service to our country?
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for your service to our country.
Now, what possible explanation can there be for locking up his wife for 4 months when she has committed no crime other than writing a couple of bad checks for $80?
Sir, it is not my prerogative, my latitude, or my job to pick and choose which laws in this country get enforced.
You have
and
broad
which ones
discretion
don't.
as the Secretary.
We need to follow
You can issue
the law
parole, you
and
can do all
enforce
kinds
the
of things,
laws.
but you're choosing not to. Will you commit again to just reviewing Donna's case and reuniting this combat veteran with his beloved wife, who also loves this country?
I will review the case.
First of all, great job, Representative Magaziner. That got me choked up, and it got me upset, and it gets me upset now. Can you imagine for a second taking 2 bullets, risking your life for this country, leaving Korea when you were 8 years old? Maybe you don't have the proper documentation, but one day you're in your home, you risked your life for this country, and Kristi Noem, because of her, ICE agents raid your home and deport you and bring you back to a country you haven't been in 40 years, and you served in the United States military, and you took 2 bullets? Can you imagine serving this country, risking your life, having a family, working hard your entire life, and your beautiful wife, who didn't have the proper documentation, whose only crime besides not having the proper documentation was 8 years ago writing 2 bad checks totaling $80, and she's been in prison the last couple months for that reason alone? Can you imagine that? I can't. It's despicable. It's disgusting. And Representative Magaziner gives another example. This is just as bad, maybe even worse. The story of a father who didn't have the proper documentation, no criminal record, and raised 3 sons to be Marines. Listen to this story.
You've already heard the story of Lance Corporal Alejandro Barranco, the United States Marine veteran who is behind you, who also has 2 brothers who are United States Marines. Will you thank Lance Corporal Barranco for his service?
Thank you for your service.
His father, Narcisco Barranco, is a landscaper in California who has lived peacefully in our country for 30 years and has no criminal record. Last spring, while he was mowing the lawn at an IHOP, ICE agents tackled him in the street and imprisoned him for weeks. A peaceful, hard-working man who raised 3 sons to be United States Marines. We need men of that character in this country. Again, as Secretary, you have broad discretion. Will you consider Lance Corporal Barranco's father for parole in place to stay in our country, owing to the fact that he has contributed to our country by raising 3 United States Marines?
This is an opportunity to remind everybody that every person that's in this country illegally has an opportunity to voluntarily go home and come back the right way.
He raised 3 United States
we will
Marines.
Facilitate that.
He has been living here peacefully, doing his job for 30 years. You have discretion. You are choosing not to use it. Madam Secretary, you promised America that you would go after the worst of the worst. But these people are not the worst of the worst. A Purple Heart recipient, a military spouse, the father of 3 Marines. And it's not just veterans and military families. You are locking up and deporting children with cancer, mothers with babies in the NICU, United States citizens. There are many problems with your leadership, but the biggest problem is this. You don't seem to know how to tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. Go after the bad guys. Go after the terrorists. Do not go after veterans, Marines, children,
Gentleman's
United
time's
States
expired.
citizens. I yield back.
Amen. So well said, and I am so proud of that man for doing what Democrats should have done for a long time. Kristi Noem is a despicable human being. She is despicable. And instead of answering the question by saying, well, you know, we have to do a better job of going case by case, I'm going to look into all these cases, and yes, you're right, sir, these are not the worst of the worst. Instead of, she had an opportunity to try to do some cleanup, and instead, what does she do? The right-wing talking points. Well, this is a great reminder to everybody that if you're illegal in this country, you have a right. You have a right to deport, self-deport. Why don't you self-deport, you dumb bimbo? You despicable disgrace, excuse cosplay of a human being? No. These people should not be deported. No. I think you're a father. You're mowing the lawn at an IHOP, and you've been working hard for 30 years, and you pay your taxes, and you raised 3 wonderful hero sons that are Marines. No. I don't think you should be tackled by ICE agents and deported and put in prison. No, I don't think that should be happening in this country. Violent criminals, different circumstance. We were told by the Trump administration that that's who they would be going after. And this stupid, despicable woman sits there under oath and lies. Sir, we have not deported military veterans. He just gave you some examples that you have, you dumb bimbo. Her entire strategy, the entire morning today, was talking over people, and this is another perfect example of that being taken place.
Would you agree with the national security officials' assessment that the United States has been operating in a heightened threat environment for several years now?
Yes.
Yes or no? Would you say New York City is susceptible to these kinds of security threats?
Yes, and that's why they should spend
So with New York City being
$440
the
million
number
they
one
had in
terrorist
reserves,
target in the
the federal
nation,
government gave them
with
to
New
use
York
to
City
secure
being the
their
number
city,
one, I
which
reclaim
they
my
did
time,
not
with New York
spend.
City being the
They
number
did not
one
spend the hundreds
security
of
threat in
millions
this
of dollars
nation,
they had
it's
to secure
unconscionable
their city
that you
and
would cut
police criminals on the street each and every day.
$134 million in urban area security initiative funding for the city of New York.
So the argument that was made there, which is a very fair argument, is we are under a terrorist watch in this country. And New York City, as we know, has been sadly a big target in the past, and now she's taking funds away from New York City. But yeah, it's Make America Safe Again, right? And all she does is I wish somebody would put a ball in her mouth so she could never talk again for the rest of her life. Send her to Guantanamo Bay. Send her to an El Salvador prison for a week. She wouldn't be able to survive. The people that she's sending over there, so many of those people, non-violent criminals. They've never committed a violent crime in their life. Their only crime, a misdemeanor. not having the proper documentation. You dumb, bimbo, despicable excuse for a human being, you. And then there's Representative Ramirez, who I have a lot of admiration for. And again, I thought she did as Trump would say, A+++. I thought the Democrats did a phenomenal job this morning. Let's give credit where credit is due. I go after Democrats sometimes when I don't think they do a good job and they don't press these people enough. I thought they literally did an A+ job this morning in exposing the bigot piece of human scum that Kristi Noem is and this entire frickin' administration. Ramirez proving in this audio on the record that Kristi Noem didn't just lie today, but she's lied under oath multiple times in the past.
An article by ProPublica from October 16, 2025, entitled, "We found that more than 170 U.S. citizens have been held by immigration agents. They've been kicked." There's nothing smiling about U.S. citizens. I'm sorry, that's very inappropriate. Let me continue. They've been kicked, dragged, and detained for days. The next one.
The Trump administration has specifically targeted the worst of the worst. The individuals that we are going after are those that are violent criminals, those that are breaking our laws.
Do you, Secretary Noem, again, you lied to the American people. I will be including into the record, an article by the NBC News from December 7, 2025, entitled, "ICE has arrested nearly 75,000 people with no criminal records," data shows. The co-equal branch of government, and it is your obligation as a member of the executive branch to honor decisions made by the highest court of the land. Yes or no, Secretary?
We are abiding by all federal judges' orders. Absolutely.
The Justice Department said that when the administration was ordered back in March to stop sending detained migrants to a mega prison in El Salvador, you personally made the final call to continue the flights anyway. Is that correct?
And the decisions that are made on deportations, where flights go and when they go, are my decision at the Department of Homeland Security. And we'll continue to do the right thing, continue to work and protect Americans, no matter what radical judge comes out and tries to stop us. We'll do.
You lied on the record, and you lied to members of this committee. You violated court orders by not turning around deportation flights bound for El Salvador, where we know that hundreds of people under your leadership have reported that they were raped, they were beaten, and they nearly died. And your agents used chemical weapons in Chicago despite court orders from District Court Judge Ellis forbidding their use. Secretary Noem, you, Gregory Bovino, and your ICBP and DHS deputized agents have waged an unaccountable, unlawful, unconstitutional war against communities across the nation.
So, great job by Representative Ramirez in proving that not only is Kristi Noem a liar under oath, but she's also a criminal. A+ job. And I want to bring up somebody who I think could be a great president one day, and another young up-and-comer, according to politics, goes young. Somebody that probably doesn't get enough credit, and I don't speak about highly enough, and that's Representative Dan Goldman, a former attorney, extremely intelligent guy, far smarter than me, great mind, great legal mind. I love Dan Goldman, and I think Goldman does a phenomenal job every single time he's questioning somebody. So this is the part this morning where Representative Goldman basically proves to everybody in this country that was watching this that the Trump administration and Kristi Noem are breaking the law. Listen to Kristi Noem curl up into her little MAGA ball and try to blame Joe Biden for everything. This is exactly what the Trump administration does. Dan Goldman does a phenomenal job. Have a listen to this.
Do you agree that asylum is a lawful pathway to immigrate to this country? Yes or no?
There's an asylum program, yes, in place.
All right. So immigrants then with ongoing asylum applications are legally in this country, correct?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Your question was?
Immigrants with ongoing Asylum applications are legally in this country.
There are individuals in this country that have applications that.
And they are legally here because it's a lawful pathway, right?
It's a lawful pathway.
Okay, so if your department then deports anyone with an ongoing asylum application, you are violating the law, correct?
Joe Biden left us with.
I'm not asking about Joe Biden. I'm asking you a specific question. If your department deports anyone with an ongoing asylum application, you are violating the law. Is that correct?
It was greatly violated when they allowed.
I'm asking you.
People to come
I'm
in and
asking
granted asylum applications.
Why are you filibustering? Why can't you answer the question? It's a simple question.
Your president.
If your department
and your secretary
deports
did not
anyone
follow the law,
with an ongoing asylum application, you are violating the law. Isn't that correct?
The asylum program was broken under the last.
Mr. Chairman, I will reclaim my time. She's not answering the question. But the obvious answer is that yes, if you follow a lawful pathway, asylum is a lawful pathway. If you have an open asylum case, you are here lawfully. But the problem that we are seeing around the country is that you are not following the law. Don't tell us to change the law. If you don't like the asylum system, you change the asylum law. Bring it to us. We'll work with you. I think it needs to be changed. But you can't just decide that you're not going to follow the law, and asylum is a law, and deport people who have ongoing applications. Unfortunately, that is exactly what's happening. It's happening across the street from my office right in New York City.
Wonderful job by Dan Goldman. But Biden. That is the excuse from the Trump administration whenever they are proven to have broken the law. Dan Goldman said it best. If you have an asylum application, you are considered here legally until that is carried out in one way or another. Example, what Dan Goldman is talking about. People that are showing up in courtrooms in the United States of America. Many of those people are asylum seekers that have applications. It's part of the reason why they're showing up in court, and ICE agents are waiting outside the courtroom and deporting them. That is against the law. They're breaking the law. And the only thing Kristi Noem can say is, well, what about Biden? Dan Goldman just proved it. What more proof do you need? Most of these people are decent human beings. They're trying to go about it the right way. They have asylum applications. Legally, the administration is not legally allowed to deport them. Yet every single day in this country outside of courtrooms, we see ICE agents, some of them not even showing that they're ICE agents, just idiots looking, maybe they're January 6ers, I don't know, tackling these people and deporting them, in some cases putting them in jail. And these are asylum applicants. It's against the law. Is this hard for some of you to understand? You MAGA dopes? You MAGA mushroom gobblers? Is this hard for you to understand? Let me repeat it one more time so some of my very low IQ MAGA supporters, and yes, many of you that still support Donald Trump are some of the dumbest people that America has to offer. So let me try to explain it to you one more time, okay? If you're seeking asylum and you have an asylum application, you cannot legally be deported. You are not recognized by the United States government as someone who needs to be deported. Until that application, there is a judgment on that application, whether it's granted or not. If it's not granted, then yes, legally you can be deported. You're considered undocumented. That's not what's happening in this country. They're deporting people that are applicants seeking asylum every day. It's cut and dry. It's against the law. But, you MAGA idiots out there, you got to abide by the law. You got to abide by the Constitution. So when it comes to somebody that commits a misdemeanor, you're okay with throwing them in jail, separating them from their families, sending them to an El Salvador prison. But when it's the people that you supported, Donald Trump all the way down to Kristi Noem, if they're breaking the law, that's totally okay. We don't need to talk about that. You frickin' turds, you. You're not American. I hope you all get deported. If you're okay with this, the Trump administration breaking the law, I hope you all get deported to Gaza right now. And we'll do what Ron DeSantis did. We'll give you a brochure and a $10 coupon to McDonald's. How about that? Dan Goldman didn't end there, because I talked to you guys about some of these ICE agents that are physically assaulting these people. This is the case of an officer. You might have heard about this. An older woman that was outside of a courtroom, and for no reason, this guy tackled her and injured her. She needed to go to the hospital. I believe she got a concussion because of the actions of this ICE piece of human garbage. Now, there was an investigation, and they found that it was beneath the men and women of ICE, this guy's behavior. What does Kristi Noem do? She rehires him, and he's an ICE agent again. He asks her about this. She has no answers for him. Listen to this exchange.
Now, after this incident, your department issued a statement that said the officer's conduct in this video is unacceptable and beneath the men and women of ICE. Our ICE law enforcement are held to the highest professional standards, and this officer is being relieved of current duties as we conduct a full investigation. 3 days later, you reinstated that officer and you put him back on duty. I sent you a letter and asked you what investigation was done and why was he reinstated. You did not answer that letter. So I'm going to give you an opportunity right here to explain to me that if that officer's conduct was, quote, beneath the men and women of ICE, unquote, why did you reinstate him?
Sir, that investigation was completed. I can give you that investigation and the information that you would like. This is.
Well, I wrote you 2 months ago. Why haven't you given it to me yet?
I'm actually surprised that you haven't gotten it. I'm going to ask my staff about that.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised because generally speaking, you do not respond to
thousands
us.
of your letters.
Now, the other problem that we are seeing all over the country is
what a joke. I'm surprised you haven't heard back because they don't care. That's why. They care more about transgenders. They care more about teachers that are, saying to students it's okay to be gay, or, they care more about banning books. They care more about a couple people in Portland that are dressed up as chickens and frogs. But when it comes to an ICE agent and a pathetic coward who injures a woman for no reason, assaults her, let's just call it for what it is, and even the investigation claimed that it was beneath the men and women of ICE, they reinstate that ICE agent. And she has no answers for Representative Goldman. Again, A-plus job by Representative Goldman. Kristi Noem, you are a despicable turd. You're the cosplay bimbo fool that you are. You are a racist. You are an absolute embarrassment to this country. And while you go around the country in your cosplay uniforms on taxpayer dollar, I hope you get deported to Gaza. I really, truly mean that. You are not American. You are a savage. You are despicable. And anybody else that defends this woman and anybody in the administration that defends this woman, you're just as bad. I've had it. These are sick people. Great job by the Democrats today. I am proud of Representative Goldman, Representative Ramirez. I am proud of so many. Magaziner, I thought he did a wonderful job. I thought you got to praise the Democrats when they do a good job. Those are people that should be proud of their work today in exposing what a piece of human scum Kristi Noem is. And these coward ICE agents deporting people who served this country who were shot, deporting a father who's never been convicted of a violent crime in his life, never been convicted of a crime in his life. 30 years in this country working, didn't have the proper documentation. A father who raised 3 sons to be Marines, and he's tackled in front of a restaurant while he was mowing the lawn, and this is the thank you that we give to him. I am disgusted. There needs to be a pathway to citizenship for non-violent criminals, period. And if you're okay with these stories and thousands of others just like them, then you are a despicable, racist turd who I'm sure voted for a 34-count felon, liable adjudicated rapist. The last clip I want to play for you. Another MAGA buffoon who testified earlier today and was questioned by Benny Thompson, who, again, I thought did a great job. Glasheen is making the case that he says Antifa is the biggest concern right now when it comes to terrorism in this country. But yet he can't answer the most basic questions about a group that he says is the biggest terrorist organization that we are facing in this country. Listen to this exchange.
Executive Board of Domestic Terrorist Organization, Antifa. That's our primary concern right now.
All right, that's what President Trump did. What did the FBI say?
We share the same view. When you look at the data right now, you look at the domestic terrorist threat that we're facing. Right now, what I see from my position is that's the most immediate violent threat that we're facing on the domestic side.
So where is Antifa headquartered?
What we're doing right now with the organization.
Where in the United States does Antifa exist? If it's a terrorist organization and you've identified it as number one.
We are building out the infrastructure right now.
So what does that mean? We're trying to get the information. You say Antifa is a terrorist organization. Tell us as a committee, how did you come to that? Where do they exist? How many members do they have in the United States as of right now?
Well, that's very fluid. It's ongoing for us to understand that. The same, no different than Al Qaeda and ISIS.
Now, I don't want you. I'll ask one question, sir. I just want you to tell us. If you said Antifa is the number one domestic terrorist organization operating in the United States, I just need to know where they are, how many people. I don't want a name. I don't want anything like that. Just how many people have you identified with the FBI that Antifa is made of?
Well, the investigations are active.
So you wouldn't come to this committee and say something you can't prove, I know. I know you wouldn't do that. But you did.
Yes. Yes, he did. So this imbecile, Glasheen, is trying to compare. He literally is trying to compare what he calls Antifa. My understanding, Antifa just means anti-fascist. It's not an organization. There's nothing wrong with being anti-fascist. He just compared his made-up Antifa to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Now, you can point to Al-Qaeda. We could talk about 9/11, multiple terrorist attacks where thousands of innocent Americans have died. We can also point towards ISIS, the same deal. But yet he doesn't answer the basic questions, even though he claims that Antifa is the biggest threat to this country. Where are they located? I don't know. Can you tell me where they are? Well, it's ongoing. We're looking into it. So if you're looking into it and it's ongoing, why would you make the conclusion, looking into it, that they're the biggest threat to America? It's the dumbest. This guy's the dumbest, maybe the dumbest person I've ever seen in D.C., and that's saying something because Kristi Noem would be right behind him. Antifa is anti-fascist. It's not an organization. It's not run by George Soros or a few people. They don't have a headquarters. It's not an organization. There are people that are against fascism that show up at events. Certainly, I would never condone violence if that takes place, but last I checked, there were a lot of people that were anti-fascist that were at the No Kings rallies. Does that mean I'm part of Antifa? You dopes. Does that mean the tens of millions of people that were protesting across the country for the No Kings rallies? We're all anti-fascist. I guess you could call us Antifa. That's what it means. Does that mean we're part of an organization? No, we're not. I showed up just like everybody else. I'm not a part of an organization. I represent myself, and I was there because it was an anti-fascism type, I don't know, get-together, if for lack of a better term. So it's pretty pathetic and pretty disgusting and pretty embarrassing that we have this guy, Glasheen, who has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. when he says Antifa is the biggest threat. No, you know what I think the biggest threat to the country is? Idiots like you. Middle-aged white people that support Donald Trump. Middle-aged white people in the Trump administration. An orange man named Donald Trump. That is the biggest threat to this country right now. Not a bunch of people who show up to No Kings rallies with their signs saying that they're against fascism. No, that's not the biggest threat to this country. The biggest threat to this country is a guy that is a 34-count felon, an adjudicated rapist. That's the biggest threat to this country right now, you MAGA mushroom gobbling buffoons, you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to open up the phone lines, as we always do. The number to call is 702-221-7283. Again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, is 702-221-7283. There's a lot to discuss. We had Charlie on the line. It was really a pleasure speaking with her. She's a lovely lady. And this is the woman that Andrew Wilson told her to lick sniz and called her a dyke. I also released a little bit of information about Andrew Wilson, the fact that Turning Point people do not want him at their event, and I believe that is why he canceled the debate with the Unearth America tour, which I'm a part of in Phoenix, coming up next week. We talked about Kristi Noem, Cosplay Kristi, the bigot, who literally lied under oath today multiple times. She said that they've never deported someone who served this country honorably, when, again, it was proven that that was not the case. She's an absolute liar. She embarrassed herself, and I give the Democrats credit. I thought they did a really good job today. Give credit where credit is due. They made her look like the imbecile fool, the clueless bigot that she is. Number to call, 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. I want to hear from you, the most interactive show that you will find anywhere. We do it right here every day. 702-221-SAVE. We will take a quick break, and if you are a Trump mushroom gobbler, you are also welcome to call into the show. Okay, take a quick break. We'll be back in only 90 seconds. You're listening to Pushing the Limits. And by the way, that's about 78 seconds longer than Donald Trump lasted with Stormy Daniels. We'll be back right after this.
Here's the deal. The country's a mess, and America's youth is stuck at the center of a tug-of-war between propaganda, billionaires, and political clowns who think TikTok is a national security threat, yet can't open their own email. But the real threat that keeps them up at night isn't TikTok. It's the power of the youth vote. And that's what the Unfuck America tour is after. We're traveling the country, hitting campuses and cities, exposing the right wing's playbook and calling out all the tricks they use to hook young people. We saw the youth vote shift in 2024, and if we don't reclaim that momentum now, we lose the future, our future. We're not bankrolled by billionaires, corporations, or dark money. We're backed by regular people like you, who won't sit back while the rich strip this country for parts. We need you to help us stay on the road to push back against the misinformation machine. Click the link in the description or head over to unfuckamericatour.com to donate, because nobody else is coming to fix this mess.
Pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn, that true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 466.
Can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
All right, Welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Longtime guitar player, a man who has performed with Michael Jackson, and a man who's performed on stage with Prince. He is the longtime guitar player for the Black Eyed Peas. George is going to be joining us in studio tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great stories. I want to go to the YouTube Super Chat first, if I may. Sometimes I don't do a very good job of that. My apologies. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, why wasn't the combat veteran who was deported to Korea made a citizen as soon as they gave him his Purple Heart? Well, Chris, that's a very good point that you make. But even with that being said, he still shouldn't have been deported regardless of that. But I do understand your point, and that's a valid point, and I would certainly ask that question as well. I think that's a mistake, especially someone who was shot twice. Also, Lori, we appreciate your support of PTL. You're a great supporter. Thank you very much. Lori says, these people who are not American citizens wanted to fight for this country. This country failed them for not making them citizens. For all who are citizens and not citizens, I want to thank you. So I want to thank you as well for your support of this program. The number to call if you want to be a part of the program is 702-221-7283. Let's start off with Alex. Alex is first up on PTL. Hi, Alex. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
From DC. How you doing, man?
Good. What's on your mind, man?
You're good. Hey, so last night in DC, I was like 11 o'clock in the evening. I was watching news, cooking food. And I don't know if you've heard this, but they're gonna okay. So they took down Black Lives Plaza.
Mm-hmm. I saw that
this summer.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night they announced they're going to do a bill that they're going to try to rename it Charlie Kirk Freedom of Speech Plaza, which is disgusting. I screamed at the TV. I was just like, I can't believe it. Charlie Kirk, we all have our opinions on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a racist. He's a horrible piece of excrement, minding my words.
I don't disagree.
They didn't. So when the National Guard got murdered by very close to the White House, they did not even lower the flags at half-mast at the Capitol or.
Well, you
or
know
the
why?
White House.
You know why? It's very simple. George Floyd was black. Charlie Kirk was white. It's very simple.
Oh yeah,
it's very simple.
Yeah, but then they also, like I said, they did not lower the flags for the National Guard that got murdered, but they lowered it for Charlie Kirk and gave this whatever celebration.
So let me be clear on this. George Floyd wasn't a good guy. He certainly didn't deserve to be murdered. But I can guarantee you that Charlie Kirk affected far more people in a negative way and has hurt this country and hurt far more people with his rhetoric than George Floyd ever did. For the most part, George Floyd hurt himself. Yes, George Floyd did some bad things. Didn't mean he deserved to be murdered. It didn't mean that Charlie Kirk deserved to be murdered. But I've been very consistent on this. And by the way, I want to give credit to somebody while we're speaking about Charlie Kirk real quick. I don't know if you've heard of celebrity Amanda Seyfried. I don't know if you heard of her. She's been very outspoken. It's a story on TMZ today. Very outspoken. Exactly. Very outspoken about Charlie Kirk. And she said he was a hateful guy. By the way, I agree with her. Kudos to her because she's taken a lot of flack from the right. She doubled down on those comments yesterday. I'm so proud of her. She has not backed down. I stand with her 150%. Yes, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be murdered. He was a despicable human being. And his wife is a grifter. She's a grifter is what she is with her fake tears. I've had it defending them. And I will not defend them anymore. I feel horrible for the children. I feel horrible for what happened. She is a grifter. And she held a $10 million a plate dinner at Mar-a-Lago the other day. She's estimated worth over $15 million, and she's gotten over $10 million in donations. And I'm supposed to sit here, and I'm supposed to say, please keep getting more money. You know what? When somebody dies in a family and they can't afford to bury them, even some people feel bad asking for money, asking for $4 or $5 grand. Days after her husband was murdered.
She has no shame.
No shame, I agree. Mass text she sent around the country asking people for money because she's nothing more than a grifter. That's what she is. Charlie Kirk was a despicable human being. He didn't deserve to be murdered. Despicable human being. And I am proud of people like Amanda Seyfried and others that are doubling down in their comments and don't apologize because he was a despicable human being. I'm not celebrating his death. I never would. I'm not condoning political violence. I never would. Right? Exactly. Exactly. That is my point. That is my point. And I don't think Charlie Kirk's name should be anywhere but a Klan rally, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. Put it in Alabama somewhere or the Bible Belt. Have them have a highway after him. That's fine.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, sell some hoodies. Sell some hoodies with his name on it. White hoodies.
All right. There's another thing on Union Station. So you, I know you're not on Instagram, but this is also like TikTok and there's what's his name? You've had Gunny on there before.
I have. Yep. Gunny's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yep.
Ginger, Jolly Ginger or Ginger Jolly.
Yeah.
So okay, at Union Station, probably when you were here in DC, there's Union Station. There were these tents that veterans were doing a 24-hour protest since like August or since the beginning of summer. I don't know, really long time. And then last night, again, same newscast I saw. They said they're going to tear down their tents because Ted Cruz thinks it's ugly. Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah, you know what I think is ugly? Ted Cruz.
He looks like a rat.
Ted Cruz, yeah.
Exactly.
Ted Cruz is the ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did this. So their permit was supposed to be until January 10th.
Yeah.
They did this last night in like the middle of the night. Again, I saw this on Instagram. And they dismantled it, which, I don't know, again, despicable. Another subject, Noam, real quick. Just everybody who, just like who, if they have Noam on there and she's, grandstanding, interrupting, whatever, everyone should just say quiet piggy, no matter who it is. Because what's going to happen to him? Are they going to get sanctioned? They're going to get in trouble? The president says it, so that's got to mean it's okay.
That's a really good point that you just brought up. I think it's probably beneath the office, but yeah, if somebody called her piggy, I would have no problem with that. Since apparently it's okay for Donald Trump to call journalists piggies when they ask legitimate questions. My friend, thank you so much for the call. It's good to hear from you. Let's go to Andy. Andy is next up on PTL. Hey, Andy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, hey, I just want to say I'm a longtime registered Republican.
Yep.
Living here in Florida. I just want to say, yeah, I put my country before party.
Mm-hmm.
I did vote for that idiot the first time, but once I start to get to know him, I figured out all he does is just lie out of his ass. And I just want to say I love watching your videos, and you take these maggots down, and then when they start getting testy, they start changing the subject. So
hey, Andy, can I ask you something? I appreciate those kind words, by the way. Andy, are you still a registered Republican, if you don't mind me asking? Nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to change it. Yeah, I'm going to change it. Yeah, I am going to change it, but yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. That's okay. Listen, I'm not criticizing you for being a Republican. I care more about how people vote. So listen, Andy, I didn't vote in 2016 for Hillary or Trump. I made a very big mistake. So we both made a mistake. That's okay. But the point of the matter is that we both learned from our mistake. Did you vote for Joe Biden in 2020? And did you vote for Harris in 2000?
I sure did.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I have a lot of respect for you.
Because I had it with that idiot. And then you know what? When COVID hit, and then I found out that we couldn't get COVID tests. Us Americans couldn't get COVID tests. That's because he was sending that crap over to Russia.
That's true. They were sending.
Who the hell does that shit? Oops, excuse my mouth.
Yep.
But yeah, I get fired up.
That's okay.
He doesn't care about the American people. All he does is go over there and get on his knees right in front of Putin.
Well, let me tell you something, Andy. I appreciate your words, and I wish there were more people in this country like you. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican, but you're a reasonable person, and I'm not saying you should switch parties. Listen, you voted for Joe Biden. You voted for Kamala Harris. I respect you for that as a Republican, and you know who Donald Trump is. You did the right thing. What I can't understand, Andy, I totally understand people like you, very reasonable. I can't understand people who have voted for Donald Trump a second time, voted for Donald Trump a third time. Andy, I don't understand it.
I don't need to do it. I don't either. I mean, I cannot believe these people that support him, and they believe everything he says. And the reason why he says that is because he knows his supporters are uneducated, they're stupid, and he's even said on record saying,
Yeah.
if you say the same thing over and over and over
Yeah,
and over,
yeah.
and
Andy, may I ask?
going to believe it.
Andy, so I ask people these questions all the time, and I ask them, what was the changing of the guard for you? Some people say January 6th. Some people even say, when he made the statements about John McCain. I get all sorts of, or some people will say his first administration during COVID, his handling of COVID was terrible. What was the changing of the guard for you where you finally said to yourself, that's it, I can't support this guy anymore?
Well, I'm pretty much with, how he dealt with COVID.
Yeah.
And then when I turned my TV on January 6th, I looked at that. I was just absolutely shocked when he told them guys to go down and fight like hell.
Yep. Yep.
And then the way he insults people. No president in the United States of America has ever insulted.
You're right.
And the definition, I just want to let these maggots know, a definition of a president is somebody who is a leader, a peacemaker, and looks out for the American people, and he's neither one of them.
Andy, you are so well said, my friend. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm so glad. I wish there were more Republicans out there like you, Andy. You sound like you're a really good man and a smart man and a reasonable man. Please call back again, okay?
Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too, Andy, to you and your family. I like Andy. I wish there were more people out there like him, a Republican who could not vote for Trump a second or third time. And I don't blame him. Thank you, Andy, for that call. And I appreciate you a lot. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. We have one phone line open. Let's go to Jason. Jason, what's up?
First of all, I would like, hopefully this gets back to Andrew Wilson, who thought this was a derogatory term, lick sniz. So I'll say this. A real devout disciple of Christ, real man, loves to lick sniz. So obviously you never did it for your wife, and she'll probably divorce you too because you don't know how to lick sniz. And every man in America that doesn't lick sniz is definitely not a real man.
We do know there's a lot of MAGA Republicans, though, that have no problem performing fellatio on Donald Trump. We do know that.
Oh, yeah, mushroom gobblers. We know that. We know, like that guy that was talking about Antifa. He's the mushroom gobbler of the week.
I would say of the year, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Jason.
No. I'm sorry. That's J.D. Vance.
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
The mushroom gobbler of the year.
You're right.
There is not worse than him. As a matter of fact, if I see him, I'd probably have to go to jail because I'd knock him out in front of the Secret Service. So, no. J.D. Vance, mushroom gobbler of the century.
Yeah, I don't think J.D. Vance licks in his either, just for the record. Well, maybe on his couch. I don't know. Anyway, Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
his wife won't let him lick space, so he's going to lick the couch.
That's very fair. Jason, always bringing it, my friend. Always making me laugh. Thank you for the call, Jason. You're the best. I love you, buddy. Thank you. I love it when Jason calls in. He brings it. Jason brings the fire to PTL. I love it. Let's go to Larry, 702-221-7283. Larry is next up. What's up, Larry?
Good to hear from you, Brian, fellow Las Vegan. I moved out here from California. I'll keep it short and sweet. Keep up the great work. Thank God we still have freedom of the press, but this administration has just gone way, way too far. And with these talking points, it's like a broken record. Just to let everybody know out here in Vegas, everybody is right wing on the AM, and then I listen to 101.2 with Shan. But thank God there's a voice of hope with you. And
thank you.
And keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, man.
I appreciate that. There are some despicable people that do AM right wing talk shows here in Las Vegas. They're despicable human beings. They have 5 listeners. And I'm happy to say that I have a platform where I have good people like you listening and people, quite frankly, all over the country that are listening to this show. And I'm very humbled by that. And that's why we'll continue to do what we do. And, for the record, we are also on an AM station, 1400 KSHP. But I agree with what you're saying. Right-wing conservative talk radio, AM talk radio. Sadly, I had to work for some of these stations, and I regret it. It was awful. And most of these stations, okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Do you have time for a 1-minute story?
Yeah. I got you. Go ahead.
I recently played a round of golf with the general manager of a cluster of stations. Okay. Now I didn't know who this person was, I sit in the golf cart with him, and he starts talking politics with me. He says, Mark Levin is brilliant. Now, as soon as he said
Oh, my
that,
God.
as soon as he
Please.
said that, I said, how am I going to last 4 hours with this idiot clown? Okay?
Right on.
And do you realize how hard it was for me to bite my tongue for 4 hours with this idiot? Because all I want to do is just play golf, right? Now, he's your typical crusty white guy Trump supporter who thinks Ben Shapiro is brilliant. Donald Trump is a great president. Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. I mean, so eventually at about the 10th or 11th hole, I had to speak up and I said, listen, sir, you're not going to like my politics, but Donald Trump is a despicable human being. And I think at this point,
I second that.
if anybody still supports him, then there's something wrong with you. And he gave me this blank stare and he said, well, you're right. He's not a good guy. I said, name me one thing that Kamala Harris has ever done that rises to that level. And he couldn't. And he didn't bring up politics with me the rest of the round. But I did say this to myself as I left the round. And listen, the guy gave me some golf balls. You know, he was being nice to me afterwards. There was a lunch and all that stuff. But I said to myself, and you reminded me of this, here's a guy that runs a cluster of stations. He's a complete right-wing MAGA mushroom gobbling buffoon. No wonder why we have so many idiots on AM radio in this country that spew right-wing BS, because we have morons like this guy. Yes, he's a moron. Morons like this guy who run stations here in town. So you reminded me of that.
And I'll close on this. Good for Mark Kelly. That's the kind of guy I want running my country.
Yep.
You know, who's got integrity, respects the rule of law, you know, has really made something of his life. And to go after him like that, I mean, give me a break.
Mark Kelly,
give me a break.
He's a living treasure. He's a hero. I look at him like I look at John McCain from his service to this country. And by the way, what happened to his wife was awful. He sounds like he's a wonderful husband and father as well. I appreciate my locals, Larry. Thank you so much for calling in and your kind words. Let's go to Harley. Harley is next up on PTL. Hello, Harley.
Hello. It's nice to be on your show. I'm a first-time caller.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today, Harley?
I live in the state of Arkansas. I was wondering if you saw that neo-Nazi rally that we had down in Little Rock, in our state capital.
I did not. Tell me about it.
It was crazy. So they came in like they usually do with the U-Haul trucks.
Yeah.
Came in and they went into specifically black neighborhoods, like historically black neighborhoods, and walked around with flying Nazi flags and everything.
You know, do you remember? And I'm so sorry that happened. These are some of the worst people that America has to offer. By the way, Donald Trump would tell those people to stand back and stand by. But, you know, do you remember what took place when they were lying, J.D. Vance and Trump, eating the cats and eating the dogs? And then what happened? A week later, you had a bunch of neo-Nazis and white supremacists that were marching down there. These people are dangerous. Make no mistake about it. It's not Antifa that's a threat. It's white supremacy that's a threat. And these neo-Nazi bastards that go all over the country that are haters of minorities and Jewish people, they're just hateful human beings who never serve this country, who dress up in their camouflage, making it all like they're tough when really they're the most insecure little men you could ever meet in your life. And they just try to scare people, really. And it's dangerous. The rhetoric is dangerous.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It's really crazy when you think about it because, well, going back to the cats and dogs things, it came out that wasn't even a Haitian. It was a woman that had lived there her whole life.
Exactly. But did you ever hear J.D. Vance retract? Did you ever hear Donald Trump retract? Did you ever hear these right-wing boobs that are on social media say, oh, geez, we were wrong? Of course not, my friend. Hey, keep me updated. If anything else happens out there in Arkansas like that, I'd love to hear from you. So please call back, okay?
Oh yeah, don't worry, I will, because
thank
it's been getting crazy out here from that,
sorry.
And then that the actual, like, we have a white supremacist just compound.
I'm so sorry to hear
full
that.
County.
I'm so sorry to hear that, my friend. Call back anytime, and we need to call out these people for who they are. It's despicable, and I'm sorry to hear that. Would that have happened if Donald Trump didn't win re-election? I'm not so sure. Let's go to Ace. Ace is next up on PTL. What's up, Ace?
Hey man, I need to know what you and Numchuck and Leonard did with Jim and Tammy Faye, man. I can't find them anymore.
Who? Come again? Who?
Jim and Tammy Faye.
I don't know who you're talking about. Can you repeat those names? I don't know.
Jim and Tammy, this is the PTL club, ain't it? You got them in the closet back there, ain't? Hey, Tammy got the voice of an angel, and us dang Republicans love to hear her sing.
Sir, can you please speak in your normal voice, and can we stop the clowning around? Because I can't understand what you're saying. I know you're trying to sound like
we're looking for Jim and Tammy Faye. I want to hear Tammy Faye sing.
I have, sir, I have no idea who you're talking about. Are you a Donald Trump supporter? Let's try to have a conversation. Are you a Trump supporter?
Well, not exactly. I'm just pulling another one on you, but yeah, I would like to hear Tammy Faye sing a song.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about, sir.
Oh, okay. I thought this was Praise the Lord.
No, I don't do a religious show, sir. I think if you listen to the show, you should know that. I don't really talk too much about religion, but I do attack people who call themselves right-wing evangelicals or anybody that calls themselves a person of God that supports Donald Trump. I do go after them. Yes.
Yes, sir. Well, I had to get on my mama too. She was supporting them back in the 80s, and
okay,
I had to quit her, make her quit paying in for them like something crazy.
Ace, I appreciate your phone call, even though I can't understand a word you're saying. You sound like somebody in a mobile home in Mobile, Alabama that has 2 teeth that voted for Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I can't understand a word you're saying. Please go see a dentist. Let's go to, who's that, Stevie? Stevie is next up on PTL. What's up, Stevie?
Hi, Brian. I'd just like to let you know I love gotcha moments, and I got you.
Okay, let's hear the gotcha moment, Stevie. Can't wait.
Yes. Didn't you say on a live hot mic that you used to be in the military?
I never said on a hot mic that I was in the military. No, that is not true. I don't know where you got
well,
that
from.
Video
No,
there is not a video. There is not an audio. I actually did a 15-minute. I actually did a 15-minute segment about that months ago. This is old news. Do you have anything new that you would like to discuss?
Oh, not much, because obviously this radio station you work for doesn't even work the phones right. I couldn't even hear anything on hold all this time.
Okay, so what? Then don't call back, then, dumbass. Don't call back. Let me guess.
Well,
Let me guess. Let me guess. You're a Trump supporter. You're a Trump supporter.
I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay,
and
tell me.
Gotcha.
Okay, so tell me what Donald Trump has done here in his first year that you think is a positive for the country. Name me one thing, and then we'll discuss.
I will name you one thing. I like the fact that RFK is trying to remove all those bad things from our food so that our food is natural.
Okay, so
normal.
first of all, it's not RFK. He was assassinated, a long time ago. It's RFK Jr. Yeah, well, let's try to get our facts right. Number two, what has he gotten?
You know what I meant.
No, hold on. What has he gotten out of food?
You know what I meant.
Okay, fine.
RFK
Okay,
Jr.
we're beyond that now. What has he gotten out of food?
He's working on making
he's
our
working
food
on it.
healthy.
Okay, so hold on. So he hasn't done it yet. So how could you be happy if he hasn't done anything yet?
He's the first person to get into this position. And then
Okay, so if I said, if Joe Biden said, be quiet for a second. Be quiet for a second.
Don't you want to be better
Hey,
and have
mushroom
more
gobbler.
healthy food?
Hey, mega mushroom gobbler, be quiet for a second. If Joe Biden said that he was going to cure cancer and he didn't cure cancer yet, would you give him credit for curing cancer? Yes or no, dumbass?
What, say that again?
Oh my God, sir, what's 2 + 2? Are you really? How stupid are you? I'll repeat it again. If
don't be a dumbass.
okay, now I will, because you have a lot of MAGA wax in your ears. But I'll repeat once again. If Joe Biden said that he was going to cure cancer, and he didn't cure cancer yet, would you give him credit for curing cancer?
Well, no.
Okay, then why are you giving Robert F. Kennedy Jr. credit for getting stuff out of food? He hasn't done anything yet.
You asked me. The question was,
what has he done good? He hasn't done it yet. Okay, so let me rephrase my question to the ignorant, stupid MAGA supporter. What has Donald Trump got done, accomplished in his first year that you're proud of? Not something you think he's going to do like healthcare. What has he done? Do I have a stutter? Answer the question, dumbass. Answer the question.
You're the dumbass. I didn't say
Then answer the question. Go.
I answered the question. He's the only one working to attempt to make our food healthier. And if you're against that, maybe you're a Nazi. Are you against better health food?
He hasn't.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm answering your question, stupid. Pay attention. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hasn't done anything yet. He claims he did something, just like Donald, to the reason why you voted for Trump. He said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. He didn't do it. He said he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton. He didn't do it. He said this go around, if you recall all the promises that he made, that he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. A year into his presidency now, should we give Donald Trump credit for ending the war in Ukraine, sir? Is there peace in the Middle East? Because by your standards...
Can you stop with the shame?
What do you mean shame? They're not shame. They're not shame, and they're not shame. If it was shame, I would say you sound like you have a 20 IQ and you're typical stupid middle-aged crusty white Donald Trump supporter, mushroom gobbling fool. That would be shame. I'm shaming you. I asked you a specific question. You still haven't given me an answer. What has Donald Trump actually gotten done? An accomplishment isn't, well, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he was going to do this.
Talking to you.
What?
So frustrating talking to you, Brian.
It's frustrating talking to me. You can't even answer. I bet your wife is very frustrated with you too. What? I'll ask you again for the 10th time. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Very funny. I'm going to ask you again for the 10th time. Name me something that you think Donald Trump has accomplished the year. Go ahead.
Do you not want better? Are you against better food and healthier food?
Oh
for
my
Americans?
God, get this idiot off the show. You are a complete moron. You can't answer one basic question. And by your standards, as long as somebody says they're going to do something, let's give them credit for doing it. So if your daughter or son said, I'm going to finish my homework, but they stayed up all night playing video games, would you still give them credit for doing their homework? You dumb idiot. God, some of these Trump supporters are some of the dumbest people America has to offer, ladies and gentlemen. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. Let's go to Ramona. Ramona is next up on PTL. What's up, Ramona?
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
Yeah, I've called your show before regarding, how disgusted I am, how they're treating our military. Yeah, because my son is a disabled Iraq War veteran, and he was telling me about all the civilians that helped them out there. And I saw a video not too long ago about this Iraq man that was in court for his hearing for asylum here because he was promised it.
Yep.
And they drug him out. ICE came and drug him out, and it just infuriated me so much. And my son, and I don't know if he saw that or not, but his psychiatrist told him, not to watch too much news. So I don't know if he saw that, but he's, I told him about it because I didn't know whether he had seen it. And he just said, what the hell I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say that.
That's okay.
He said, I don't care anymore. He said, what did I fight for this country for? He said, let him just burn it down.
Yeah.
He just got that upset.
Yeah, well, I can understand his frustration. And when I played you the audio earlier today of brave men and women, brave soldiers, people who risked their life for this country, even one guy who was shot twice who served, and they deported him back to Korea. He hasn't been there since he was 8 years old. It's 40 years. And now he's, in jail. And there are people that are in jail, a father who raised 3 great young men, heroes that serve in our military. All he was doing was mowing the lawn outside of a restaurant. He's been in this country for 30 years and never committed a serious crime in his life. And he's in jail.
Yeah, I'd heard of him, yeah.
And all Kristi Noem had to say was, well, now it's a good time that, you can self-deport. That's all she had to say. These people are so despicable. It is absolutely despicable.
I know they are. My son said, these people that he worked with over there, he said that's the only thing he regrets about leaving there is leaving those friends behind. He said they're good people.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Well, listen, you have a family, a bunch of heroes as far as I'm concerned, my dear. And I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate hearing from you. And God bless you and your son and your family. Let's go to Joe. Joe is next on PTL. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, I could barely hear you, but I stumbled across your show. I worked in Atlantic City in the 80s. I'm a 60-year-old white male who wears a shirt and tie to work, and I know this guy's nuts. He's a mentally ill narcissist that ran to stay out of jail, feed his narcissism, and get revenge.
Yep.
And I can't believe I'm listening to your show.
Why can't you believe it?
I'm just so used to hearing these Trump supporters.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, Joe, a little Atlantic City news for you. Thank you for your kind words. As you know, Donald Trump did something that is very hard to do, and a casino that files for bankruptcy, which is what the Taj Mahal did. They ended up closing down. Donald Trump is probably one of the worst businessmen you could think of. The only reason why he had money to begin with is because his father gave him a $500 million company, and the guy has had to lie about his assets and lie his entire life to stay afloat. And now he's actually making real money because he's grifting off of the presidency. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I worked in Atlantic City between Atlantic City and Vegas for 40 years. I know all his casinos well. I know he ruined them all and all his failed businesses. And now, yes, because of his presidency and the crypto, now he's finally making money. Yep. I had one business that went bankrupt. I was never able to do another business again.
Wow. Yeah, it's a different set of rules for people that have no respect for authority. They have no respect for rule of law, and it's really sad. A lot of good people in New Jersey, and it's very sad that there are still people in this country that still support this guy. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yes, sir. I had to call in when I heard you. So thank you for taking my
thank
call.
you, Joe. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. And I used to go to Atlantic City all the time, my friend. And maybe we ran into each other way back when. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan is next up on PTL. Hello, Ryan.
Thank you. Hello. I have a message for them saying that you is not found guilty. So number one, invoice from Michael Cohen marked as a record Donald J. Trump Recoverable Trust. Guilty. 11 charges of guilty of invoices for legal services. 11 checks paid for legal services guilty. 12 ledger entries for legal expenses.
Yeah.
Guilty of 34 drug charges. That's the message I want to get for the mega callers out there.
Well, I appreciate that message, my friend. And it's amazing because if this guy was your everyday person, as far as not having the power that he has as president, he would have been in jail a long time ago. It's amazing all these people that go against him, the Michael, or the relationships, again, his own vice president didn't run with him again. What does that say about his true character? So I'm with you, my friend, and I appreciate the call. 702-221-SAVE is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Again, that number is 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. Let's go to RJ. RJ is next up on PTL. Hello, RJ.
Hey, what's going on there, Brian? Long time, no talk.
What's up, my friend? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas. Hey, the reason I call, I got a few topics, but the one topic that I heard you never really discussed, I listen to your show all the time. The thing with the Mark Kelly situation where, he's saying not to follow, the laws. I mean, as far as the wrong law, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I have done that. I've done shows dedicated to that. I've actually talked. Maybe you missed the show.
Yeah, but not about that. But that one you did, I understand. But what I was talking about, Brian, was where they pulled up from about 8 years ago.
Yeah,
he said the same thing.
Yeah, they played it.
Nothing about that.
I heard that audio. You're absolutely correct. I've heard that audio, and Pete Hegseth has said that. Make no mistake about it. Pete Hegseth is a murderer. Those in the administration that support Pete Hegseth are supporting murderers. That's exactly what they are doing when it comes to these Venezuelan boats. We know that they are war crimes. We know that it is murder, and we know that we probably will never see the second strike. And if we do see it, it'll be edited. They don't even want to show it to Congress, let alone the public. So I think we know what's in that, what are in those videos. Let's go to Democrat MAGA. Democrat MAGA is next up on PTL. What's up, Democrat MAGA?
Oh, two items, Brian. Real quick, I saw online your buddy Anthony Weiner's making a.
It's not my buddy. Why would you say? Why would you say he's my buddy?
Well, he's online.
He's online. Nope. Let me ask you that question. Nope. No, there's no anyways. We're going to go one by one here. Why would you start the call by saying Anthony Weiner is, quote, my buddy? Answer the question.
Well, you had him on your show.
So if I have it, okay, hold on. By your standards, is Andrew Wilson my buddy? The answer is no, right?
Okay. Well,
oh, no, it's not okay. Answer the question. If you're going to start off by saying something stupid, I'm going to punish you for it. Is Andrew Wilson my buddy? Yes or no? Answer the question. Yes or no? Answer it.
Not him.
Okay. Is Caroline Levitt my buddy? Yes or no?
That no,
probably not. Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Be quiet. No, be quiet. Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. my buddy?
Okay.
Okay. No, you're not going to get to your point until we understand that you said something very stupid. Just because somebody does my show doesn't mean they're my buddy. Anthony Weiner is not my buddy. I think he did some disgusting things. I did have him on the program to get his political takes on certain issues. He's not my buddy. Start the conversation over. Hello, Democrat MAGA. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, did you see Anthony Weiner's making a political comeback?
Okay, thank you for starting the call without a stupid statement. Now let's go with your call. Go ahead.
Well, I got 2 points. Yeah, so he's teaming up with that guy, Eric Holder. It's the Weiner Holder ticket. But anyway.
The Weiner Holder ticket for what? For what? What are they running for?
It's a funny joke.
Okay, it wasn't funny.
Anyway, you said Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy in a casino.
It's not funny.
And it's very hard to do. Other than Maverick Gaming in Las Vegas, Station Casinos in Vegas, Caesar Entertainment, fixed $16 billion in debt, Lucky Dragon, Riviera. So I guess it's not that hard to file bankruptcy.
Okay. So sure.
So that was a pretty stupid statement.
Okay, so it's not a stupid statement. There are thousands of casinos around the world. There is a small. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm not done yet. Let me finish. Donald Trump is the guy that talks about how he is a brilliant businessman. People like you go around and say he's a brilliant businessman. If you're a brilliant businessman, you don't allow any of your casinos to file for bankruptcy. Now, I'm pretty sure that the people who ran the Riviera in Las Vegas weren't going on a bragging tour for years talking about how great they are at business. Yes, there are some other casinos that have filed for bankruptcy, but my point still stands. If you think Donald Trump is a brilliant businessman, which I would imagine an idiot like you probably does, then I would point to the
guys from stations here in town are brilliant. I think they are.
Sir,
they're the biggest financial backer of UNLV sports.
Sir, I don't care what big of a backer station casinos are. The point that I was trying to make, the point that I was trying to make, it's not about you being brilliant per se. It's about you claiming that you're a brilliant businessman and then your casinos file for bankruptcy. Now, obviously, you're probably not smart enough to understand that. Don't claim that you're a brilliant businessman and then your businesses file for bankruptcy. And yes, it is pretty difficult for your casinos to file bankruptcy. However, we're talking about some casinos. Obviously, COVID was a big part of it and the recession. Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy for the Taj Mahal Casino, not when we were in a recession, not during a time that we were in COVID. So there is a fine line difference in a timeline there as well. So is there anything else?
Wrong again.
Well,
Casino in 2011.
Again, you're wrong again.
Lucky
You're wrong.
Dragon 2016.
Again,
2015.
and when did Donald Trump's casino? Again, you're bringing up a small percentage of casinos and companies, and those leaderships of those companies weren't on a tour running for president, claiming that they were brilliant businessmen. So again, you're not smart enough to correlate the two. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk, or would you like to talk about your buddy Adolf Hitler? Would you like to talk about that? Since you want to claim that I'm friends with people, well, let's talk about your buddy Adolf Hitler. Let's talk about your buddy Donald Trump. Your buddy who is an adjudicated rapist. Let's talk about your buddy Donald Trump. Let's talk about your buddy Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Anthony Weiner, you dumb piece of human garbage. I never voted for Anthony Weiner. I never would support Anthony Weiner. I thought what he did was despicable. The only reason why you're making that claim is because he appeared on my show, which makes you a complete imbecile, okay? Makes you a complete imbecile. You support a liable, sexual abusing 34th count felon who bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission, who sexualized his own daughter, who was sued thousands of times for discrimination lawsuits in New York City. That's your buddy, because that's the guy that you voted for. And there's far more information that I have on you, that you're far more close to Donald Trump, and you admire Donald Trump far more than I do when it comes to Anthony Weiner. And if you're talking about Michael Avenatti did my show. I know you're trying so hard to reach, sir. Michael Avenatti is somebody else that did my show. So again, your opinion.
You're friendly with him. I would say you're friends with him.
You would say, well, I don't care anything you say because you've established in this phone call that you're dumb as a doornail. Have a nice day, jackass. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Hopefully it's better than that last call. Let's go to Rhonda. Rhonda is next up on PTL. What's up, Rhonda?
Yes, hey, Brian, I'm just cracking up over here, boy. I'm telling you, you really beat him like an egg. But listen, I wanted to ask you, but listen, the young lady you had there, the early part of your segment, she's such a lovely young lady. The Andrew.
Yeah, you're talking about Charlie. Yeah, she's great.
Oh my God, she's great, and you're great too. But that fat slob you had the other day, I think Andrew started. When you told him, when he told you to take off your hat,
which I did,
I said, Brian could be my ginger and my tea anytime. You hear me?
Do you notice he wouldn't take off his shirt, though? I wonder why. He's trying to make it like I'm insecure. I took off my hat in a heartbeat. I said, take off your shirt. Notice the guy just like Donald Trump, nobody's probably seen him with his shirt off since he was a baby, since he came out of his mom's womb, So, yeah.
Brian, when you told him to take off your shirt, I started almost threw up. I just wanted to keep that ginger in my tea. I'm telling you, you're so sexy, but you're a good person. But one more question. Did you hear about Martin Luther King, that Trump trying to get rid of that day?
Yeah.
Did
you
hear about it?
Oh, yeah,
What
I did.
Think about it?
At first, he took the Martin Luther King statue out of the Oval Office, which, couldn't be more racist than that. Absolutely despicable. They've been trying to get rid of Martin Luther King Day, Black Awareness Month, Gay Pride Month. They've been trying to do this forever. If they had it there, they would have a neo-Nazi month. I'm telling you, they would.
Yeah.
They would.
But that's not going to happen. But guess what? I'm from Miami, and we had a great night on Tuesday. Trust me, I say in Miami, and they came out, and now we have a Democrat.
I'm very sad, though. I'm very sad. I did hear about that, my dear. And by the way, thank you for the kind words. I'm very disappointed that the Miami Heat didn't win in the quarterfinals, so I could see them in Vegas on Saturday. But that's okay. I'll still be watching some NBA basketball. Thank you for the call, my dear. I appreciate that. Let's go to Sean. Sean is next up on PTL. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing today? Good afternoon.
What's on your mind today?
Hey, I want to thank you very much for your service and what you're doing, your radio show and everything. This is like my second time I ever called. I do the songs for the day. Hope you enjoy the songs for the day. I'm the Music Man. You ever heard of me?
I have not, but go ahead. Go ahead. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thing is, I have a new nickname for Donald Trump. I call him Orange Turk Hitler because he just tried to destroy the country and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and another thing, I agree everything that you say. I think you're terrific, and I also think that you should run for president of the United States.
Oh boy, I could never do that. I couldn't do it, my friend. I appreciate the compliment, but I certainly I don't think I could do it. I definitely running for office is not my speed. I'm just a radio guy, and I'm probably going to continue to do what I do. But you said you're a music.
I always like you put down these MAGA buffoon people.
Yeah,
they drive me crazy.
I mean, I'll be honest. I am pretty good at that. There are things in life I'm not very good at. One of them is, probably I'm not very good at being kind to MAGA supporters. So I'm guilty of that, Sean. I'm guilty.
I know you are, Brian, but I support what you tell him. And one thing about this buffoon, this orange orangutan, he loves the uneducated people. He wants to love the people that are really smart.
He's got plenty of them that are in his administration. Thank you, Sean, for the phone call. I appreciate it. Plenty of uneducated people and buffoons that are in his administration that are Trump mushroom gobblers, for lack of a better term. Thank you for the call, my friend. Let's go to Mark. Mark is next on PTL. Did we lose Mark? 702-221-7283. Let's go to Carl. Carl is next on PTL. What's up, Carl?
Listen, I got something I think you really
You sound very muffled, Carl. Can you speak into the phone?
Can you hear me?
There you go. That's a little
got
better.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You're something you really like. You're always saying how some of the Trump supporters on either TV wear the crosses and they're just, they're not really, they're phony Christians. Well, I ran into somebody I was fairly aware of, that I knew. And he wore the big cross, and I knew he was a Trump supporter. So I thought I'd try something psychologically and make him explode. I said to him, "So I suppose you're a Christ believer, and you worship Christ." So he says, "Oh, of course I do." And I said, "Like Trump does." He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Well, what if I told you that Christ was a Jew?" And I knew it would make him explode. He completely exploded and said, "You're right. This is ridiculous." I said, "Did you ever read the Bible?" He says, what do you mean? I'm a Christian. I've read the Bible. Well, it says in the Bible, Christ was born a Jew, was a rabbi. He was a Jew. And he's this man that completely mentally exploded. It was so funny. I thought you liked that because you always talk about the phony Christians.
Well, I can tell you things that would make Donald Trump explode every day. Watching Caroline Leavitt put that fake cross around her neck and lie for Donald Trump, that certainly makes him explode. Porn stars that he pays $130,000, $10,000 per second, that certainly allegedly gets him to explode as well. But as far as the evangelical Christians out there, yeah, there's a lot of fake, phony Christians out there that continue to support Donald Trump, continue to curl themselves into their Christian fake pretzel and defend the indefensible. I talk about it all the time.
They won't, realize the fact that Christ was Jewish.
Yeah, that's true.
He was.
Carl, where do you live?
You
don't mind me asking, do you live in Vegas?
Yes, I do. I do.
Do you call into other conservative shows from time to time? Is that fair to say?
No, once a couple of times I called it the Kevin Walls show.
How many calls do these people get? Like one call an hour? Like what?
Yeah, well, I like to listen to them for laughs because they get the most. The people they get on who do call in or do get somebody, they're the most ignorant, ridiculous people. They must have IQs of
that's
a
probably
dog.
why. That's probably why some of these people struggle to get 2 calls an hour. That's my. Yeah. But hey, five listeners is 5 listeners too many. Carl, I appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
All right, take care. So we are going to do some politics tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I promise you that. But we are going to have a very special guest joining me in studio tomorrow. But before I get to that, please check out, if you can, my website, which is pushingthelimits.live. We'll put it there at the bottom of the screen. Any donations we appreciate, especially around the holidays, even more. $5, $10, $20 a month, whatever that you can support us with, we appreciate. You go to pushingthelimits.live. Tomorrow on the program, he is the longtime guitarist and songwriter for the Black Eyed Peas. He's a brilliant musician. His name is George Pageant. He's performed with Michael Jackson and Prince, and his stories are really incredible. He's going to be joining us tomorrow, but of course we are going to start the show tomorrow with our usual news of the day. So we'll still be talking news, politics to start the show. That's certainly not going to change. But George will be joining us in studio tomorrow. We're lucky to have him. His stories are unbelievable. I met him for the first time last week, and working with Michael Jackson and Prince and some of the best to ever be on a stage and perform. So George is going to be in studio tomorrow. I'm really excited for that. And we have some big news next week, too. By the way, Z Cohen, the founder of the Unf America Tour, is going to be joining us in studio Monday. It is confirmed that I'm having a debate in Phoenix, AmFest week, on Saturday. A week from this Saturday, I will be debating Alex Stein, mano a mano, with a debater in front of a live studio audience. And you could still get tickets if you go to the Unf America Tour's website. You hear the ad being played on this show. You can still purchase tickets for that. After me, it's going to be Myron Gaines, Destiny, Adam Mockler that are going to be debating. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's weird. Adam has done my show for years. I've never met him in person. So it'll be nice to finally get a chance to meet Adam Mockler, who is an extremely intelligent young man and very successful. And I would say the same about Destiny, except I don't think he's a young man. He's more my age, but Destiny obviously is extremely talented and very smart as well. I can't say the same about Myron Gaines, but that's another story for another show. So we'll see all you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. I love all the support. Pushingthelimits.live, where you can make donations. And I also want to thank Charlie. She was wonderful. I appreciate her joining us as well. And everybody out there on PTL Nation. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of